welcome
Oh,
to the
hello.
fishing with. All right, I'll start. Shall I start?
Yeah, you can
All right.
start.
Welcome to the
I think.
Fishing with the Boys podcast. I'm your host, Joe Flynn. Here today we have my other host, Felix Shaw. Come introduce yourself, Felix.
I I like living long walks on the beach, watching films, and yeah, that's me really.
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
mean long walks, I mean long walks to the fridge. uh,
Yeah. So like this podcast just going to be about like me and Felix and probably other people just talking about movies and reviewing them.
yeah,
We'll recommend. We'll watch one movie or maybe more than one movie each week.
yeah, yeah.
Um. So it's all been good for you, Felix? Good day
It,
today?
things have been great actually. I'm currently admiring my new banana shorts that I've got. It's shorts and they've got bananas all over them, and I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, yeah. I was at a football tournament today. We lost, but that's not the point. Is to take part. It's not about
Yeah, Joe,
losing or winning.
you're a winner in spirit. That's what
Yeah,
counts.
yeah. The main part is I took part, so that's good. It was boiling today, but now it's not so boiling. It's quite overcast in the evening,
Yeah.
4 o'clock.
Wait, what does overcast mean?
Uh, okay, for the
Joking.
people
Okay,
watching, it overcast. Basically, our friend Alfie doesn't know
it's
what
an inside
overcast
joke.
means. It's an inside joke. You wouldn't get it. All right, let's just get right into the meat of it. So,
All right.
recently, me and
Should we
Felix, yeah, you're saying?
let me. Okay, so every Friday we meet up and we watch a movie. And recently we've been watching the Mr. Bean movies. And we've watched other movies like
Yeah,
I don't know,
along
Baby
with our
Driver,
friends,
Would
along
Be
with
Cool,
along with our
Detective
friends
Pikachu.
Dan and Alfie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they probably will be guests on the podcast.
So I think last time we met, we watched Mr. Bean's Holiday from 2007, featuring Rowan Atkinson as Mr. Bean, and then 2 nights ago we watched Mr.
Mr. Bean.
Bean. We watched the Mr. Bean colon the movie, but it's also known as like Mr. Bean's disaster movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
they're both
uh,
interesting
on the
films.
on the
The
on the
duology.
original poster,
Is that what it's called? Is it a
it
duology?
uh, I guess I think yeah. So on the original poster, it does say being the ultimate disaster movie, but then on another one, it just says being the movie. So you can never be sure.
I don't know if it is a duology. A pair of rated. Yeah, it's a duology. All right. And
Okay.
so just get into the Mr. Bean lore. I'm pretty sure they're not connected in any way, shape, or form because
Yes, they are.
he doesn't mention the events of the 1997 film. By the way, the
Yeah, but you
1997
can't
film
speak.
is
That's the whole
Mr.
point. I
Bean.
mean, you can't.
I mean, in the TV show, the opening credits is him like falling from a beam, which I think is the writers trying to infer that Mr. Bean is indeed an alien just trying to fit into our society.
Did you say he fell from a beam or a bean? Okay.
Mr. Bean. He does this funny Mr. Bean voice, which is the best part. Rowan Atkinson, he's a great actor.
Well, I mean, it's the same character, and he's got the same car. I think. Did they even show the car in the first one?
No, no, they don't. They don't. But he's got the same like
So
costume from the TV show and the
yeah,
cartoons, but the cartoons
look,
aren't canon, which we've
the
discussed.
cartoons aren't canon. Sorry, I don't like the animated show is not very good. It's all the people who are like,
No,
oh yeah, I grew up with the Mr. Bean TV
they
with
just got
the
Rowan
animated
Atkinson to
show.
come in for a couple hours and to do the Mr. Bean voice, and then they just put it over some dumb like clip art
He
stuff.
doesn't even have to say anything really. He just has to go. Oh,
Dirty. Like even Teddy is
it's
featured
okay.
in Mr. Bean's Holiday, which
I
is
know, but what can
interesting
we do?
choice.
Hey, so on Google it says Bean is a comedy slash screwball comedy, and it's
I mean,
got
it's like slapstick,
six point
isn't it?
four out of 10. Yeah, I guess it's a bit goofy, essentially.
It
So
is,
it's
yeah.
got 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. but 91 Google viewers like this film, and I 91%, sorry, 91%, and I am one of them. Glad, happily.
All right, should we get into the plot? Should we get to the plot of the first one, Mr. Bean, 1997
Yeah.
film? So basically,
Yeah.
Whistler's mother is back in for some reason it's an anonymous buyer, and then it's revealed at the end, but it's not like a good reveal. Like no one, it doesn't make any sense to reveal. So basically, there's an anonymous buyer who buys Whistler's mother to bring it back to like some LA gallery that I've never heard of. You can continue just to keep it like.
Oh yeah.
You know.
So that's sort of this. But it starts off with Mr. Bean, who works in an art gallery, which was never actually shown in the TV show. So there's actually, apart from the same character, there's no sort of resemblance at all, and no evidence that they are connected. But whatever. So he works as a, I don't know what, employee.
Yeah, but he doesn't click. He's not like a janitor, but he doesn't seem to like I don't know what he does. He says like basically he describes his job as just sitting and looking at the paintings, but it doesn't make sense.
So, but Joe, have you ever been to an art gallery?
Yeah, and then no one works there. You just go around and look at the stuff.
I swear there is. Hang on. There's
Like,
people who
people
just
talk
sit
to-
there and make
yeah.
sure people look at the paint, make sure they don't steal the paintings or anything.
Oh yeah, I guess so. But that's a security guard. It's different. I wouldn't say Mr. Bean's a security guard.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Bean is a tough-looking man. If I saw him in a security, if I was going to steal a painting and I saw Mr. Bean
Bro,
looking
an
at me,
accent is like
I'd
skinny.
be like,
Rawr.
stay back.
I
Leave him alone.
Yeah, leave her. I think it's just I don't think he's supposed to be like special needs. I feel like he's supposed to just be like not even human. Like he just doesn't understand like how humans act, but he's trying to act as human as possible. But it's just he's not a human. I don't know.
I think also, in a way, like, I don't think it really matters what Mr. Bean is. I think the whole point of Mr. Bean is that he's such a simple character, but an effective character, in a way.
Yeah. All right, back to the plot. So, Whistler's mother, which is like a weird painting, is back in America, and then the British, the National British Museum, want to send like their best, like, can you be a doctor in art? Like their best, like, mind artist or whatever. I don't know. The most intelligent guy. I want to send him to like do a speech about it on the unveiling.
Doctor Who wants to send him back. Peter Capaldi's there, but there's like one line.
Peter Capaldi's there, yeah,
weird.
Young lad. And then that is weird.
Young.
And then basically they're discussing about how like bad Mr. Bean is, and they show the show not tell. They just say, "Oh, Mr. Bean's the worst employee in our history." Like you could just like show that he's a bad employee. You don't have to like say it.
Yeah, because there's literally a shot of him falling asleep, and then there's someone over with someone saying, "Oh, he's the worst employee we've ever had." Yeah.
And then
okay, so yeah, he gets sent over to
he gets sent over.
Yeah,
but he gets sent over because like the old like really like hierarchy goes like no, basically they discuss firing him, and they also discuss sending like these two old men to talk about Whistler's mother to America, and then the old man, the old like crazy like a CEO of the art gallery comes in and says, "Oh, Mr. Bean's the best freaking employee ever. I hope you're not firing him, Mr. Young boss." And then he goes, "Oh, I'm going to send Mr. Bean to America." And then it just doesn't make sense. Why? It just doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
Because I want to get rid of him.
Yeah, but he's going to come back in 2 months anyway. So what's the point? And they do say their loss is America's gain, like sarcastically. So I'm guessing they just want to get rid of him, but he's going to come back anyway. So what's the point? And it's just going to make them look bad.
That's such a waste of money as well. Yeah. Whatever. When he's in America, he causes a load of mayhem. Mr. Bean, pandemonium. Okay,
pandemonium.
Can I say that he hang on, can I say that the painting about... yeah, I'll just tell him, because I mean, the film came out like
Yeah.
1997, which is like
If
23
you're
years
if you're worried about spoilers for a movie that came out in 1997, just
Yeah, okay. So he's put alone with the painting, which is like this top secret painting
yeah.
because they think he's a doctor. Um, so then
This is
he's
like halfway through the movie. He could have just come to America and done that, but like no, it wasn't even halfway through. It was like three-quarters through, wasn't it? It was like a good hour in.
no, I'd say about halfway. No, because then the last quarter was just
It was yeah, it wasn't even related. We can talk about the
anyway.
last 20 minutes in a bit. But
Yeah, the
like,
worst part.
it
Anyway.
was
So
just for the runtime, I think. I bet they just
I
had to add another scene because they hadn't didn't have a long enough movie. But like
yeah.
so
Anyway.
yeah
We can get onto that bit later.
basically he goes to America on like a first class flight and he puts sick all over this old man because he
I
wants
mean,
to
most people have seen the film anyway, so
they get
I
all
think
the
we should.
gags, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Should we just get straight to talking the pros and cons of this movie?
Well, we need to talk about the plot.
Okay. So oh yeah, he sneezes on the paint. He sneezes on Whistler's mother,
Yeah,
um, and then he has to try and replace it, and then he goes to
yeah. He has a lot of
and then
sexual tension with the son. It's very weird.
that's
The
yeah.
son's really
It's
good
like
in the movie.
I mean he was all right. He wasn't really in it much.
He I think he had
I don't
good
know.
like comedic timing for like a 10-year-old, however old he was.
Yeah. I
He had
mean I
very
can't really
small hands.
yeah. I
Yeah,
can't.
he
Too long to,
acted
anyway.
like a 14-year-old, but he looked like a you know
I, I
he
think one of
just
the
looked
weirdest
very
lines
small.
in the whole thing was, uh, "Why you up? Couldn't sleep. I was too busy thinking about naked women." And I was thinking,
Yeah.
then Mr. Bean's like Wrestler's mother,
Oh
and then
yeah,
it's like,
that was good. That was a good joke. Like some
that
of the
was a joke.
jokes in the movie is good.
But what 10-year-old would say that to a man staying in their house?
Sorry,
Anyway,
some of the jokes in the movie are good. I don't know why they say the jokes is good. That's just me being weird. The jokes are good.
yeah, I'd say. Okay,
And then there's like a scene in the airport where he just. By the way, it's pre 9/11. He puts his
yeah.
hand in his pocket and pretends he has a gun, and he gets like the police go after him and they ask him if he's on drugs. He goes, "Not that I
That's
know."
funny, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make much sense.
I mean, in
I
the
just
TV show. Oh yeah, sorry, you were saying. I
Yeah,
interrupted you. Very.
to me, it doesn't. It just kind of seems a bit weird. Just like I know it's Mr. Bean and everything, but you know,
Yeah.
I just don't.
I mean, it's. I know it's supposed to be fiction, but like it's set in a pretty realistic world. So.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a couple of notes here, and I'm just gonna. So I
All right.
thought the movie was
I've
good
got some notes
overall.
as well.
I'd probably say like 3 out of 5 if I was gonna rate it, maybe so sort of
Yeah.
halfway.
Did you not
It,
rate it on Letterboxd? By the way, everyone has to
I did.
follow on
I forgot.
us on Letterboxd.
I completely forgot actually, but I will. So the pros of this. Should we? Let's start with the Should we start with the pros or cons? I'm gonna say let's start with the cons because
All right. Yeah.
then we can end with a high note for the.
In it.
So the it looked like a TV show. It wasn't film. It didn't feel like a. Well, I mean, it obviously was a movie, but it didn't feel like one at some parts. It felt like the TV show.
It did.
Um,
Yeah. Just a long episode.
the soundtrack wasn't great. It was very
It didn't. It
repetitive.
didn't really have a. I mean, it played yesterday a lot.
That yeah. Let me find Mr. Let me find it. Mr. Bean movie soundtrack.
I mean,
I
with
can't
the
really.
budget they had, the budget was like 20 million. That was, yeah, it was 20 million, I think. It was 18 million, 18 million for a budget, which is, I mean, that's pretty good for a budget, isn't it? I mean, for a 1997 comedy,
Yeah. So
I feel like they just didn't use it well. It felt very cheap, and like but I mean, the budget was kind of the reason why they made Mr. Bean's Holiday was because it was slightly low budget considering it's just it's a Hollywood film, and it made 250 million in the box office, which is it's really really good for the budget it had.
yeah. So the soundtrack, the main song the theme is just
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
it's so goofy, and it does fit Mr. Bean well, but I think sometimes they play it over and over again, and to me that just it kind of got on my nerves a bit. Just the bomb, 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 just like every 10 minutes, or maybe
I
even
mean,
less than that, like 5 minutes.
guessing the reason why they made this movie was kind of to spread Mr. Bean to the US. That's why it kind of goes there. So because the
Yeah,
characters are very like generic to America. Like it's just a generic mum, a generic kid with the cap on backwards, and a generic moody teenager, and the generic
yeah,
cop that goes like,
yeah.
and even the hospital scene right at the end. Actually, let's talk about the ending. Like what was
Let's talk
that?
about the ending.
So the issue of the movie is resolved. They could have just ended it there, and it would have been an hour long movie where he basically
So
just he fixes Whistler's mother. He sneezes on it, and then he ruins the painting, and then he fixes it in the end.
yeah, and so then everything's like, yeah, and then he does his speech, and it's really inspirational. And everyone's like,
Well,
yeah. And then
I,
the
I,
cop comes in out of nowhere. He doesn't, and then he's just like, "Excuse me, sir, can I talk to you?" And he's like,
yeah,
and then
the
so the guy
generic
who's
cop
been looking
with
after
like
Mr. Bean.
the generic cop with like those things that goes around your shoulders, and he's like
Yeah,
with a gun, and he's like a detective cop, and he's like, "Ma'am, can I speak to you?" And like also a lot of the movie is him messing around with like this dad character who works at the LA museum, and he invites Mr. Bean to live with him because he thinks that Mr. Bean's this like really smart guy because he's
Doctor
sent from the
Who.
British Art Institute or whatever, and
Yeah. So,
he just gets really annoyed at Mr. Bean. He gets very depressed, and his wife leaves him. Well, she
oh
doesn't leave,
yeah.
but she like goes because his wife hates Mr. Bean, and so she just decides to
How? How could she hate
live with
Mr.
the grand.
Bean?
She just finds him creepy and like with the kids and stuff. And
True.
I do like them, and like he's kind of like isn't it called like a straight man in comedy where like Mr.
Yeah.
Bean does something
Sure.
weird and he goes like, "Mr. Bean, you're weird," and like
Or
we can
Mr.
all
Bean
relate.
says something, and he's like, "Ugh, Mr. Bean." So,
Mr. Bean's
so
like, "Do you want to hear my opinion on minorities?" And then he's like, "Mr. Bean, womp womp womp." Okay, that's a
um,
bit extreme. You know what I
that's a
mean.
bit extreme. Um, so the last 20 minutes or so, is it 20 minutes? I said like 15. So, so the daughter who's been going around with this punk,
Oh yeah,
um,
the daughter, the goth daughter is going out with. Well, just at the end, it's revealed that she's going out with like some weird motorcyclist with leather
who, by
jackets.
the way, this is the funniest thing ever. He's played by Lennon from The Big Bang Theory.
No way.
Yeah, yeah, he
How
is.
old is
Look it
Leonard
up.
from the?
His name's, hang on, The Big Bang Theory.
Leonard. That's a good Johnny Kaleski. I need to look this up.
Yeah,
Oh, he's so old. He's 44. Oh my god. Yeah.
that's.
That's the funniest thing ever. He has no lines. He just goes on the motorcycle, and then the dad in the morning, he like goes out. He's like, Jennifer, you. I think her name is Jennifer. Jennifer, you shouldn't go on those death machines or whatever, because it's a motorcycle. She goes, I'm
Yeah.
not. You're not. I'm not listening to you, Dad.
And then she gets in a car accident, and Mr. Bean goes to the hospital and pretends to be a doctor or
No,
something,
he
and then
doesn't pretend.
gets her back
Basically,
to life.
no. Basically, he's like, just
Oh yeah,
don't
he's
do
wearing a
anything.
Dr. Bean thing.
And then he's got like Dr. Bean badge because he was at the unveiling of Whistler's mother, so he's got like a badge saying Dr. Bean on it. And then he like picks up and someone like drops those heart. Oh god, I can't remember what they're called. There's things where you put your
Defibrillators,
ears in.
is that what they're called?
Is that what they're called? He picks up this like
Yeah.
machine, this doctor thing, and he's like holding it, and then like, oh thank God, Dr. Bean, you're here. And then like they start just like putting him on, putting on like doctor uniform, and like they make him go into surgery, and then
It's a defibrillator.
yeah, and basically on the way to the hospital, the generic police detective man gets in like a gunfight and he gets shot, so he's in the hospital. and then Mr. Bean has to do surgery on the policeman that just got shot, and then he just basically they keep on saying, Doctor, we're losing him. Look at we're losing him. There's too much blood, and then he
Then
just like puts his hand in the wound. Sorry, you're speaking.
So there's a running gag through the thing that Mr. Bean can throw Skittles or small like sweets up in the air and then
Yeah.
catch them in his mouth. And then so there was some Skittles in the hospital. Were there, I think. So he picks
No,
them
he
up.
like had him in his pocket or whatever.
He throws one up in the air and it lands inside the stomach of the policeman. And he puts his hand inside it to get it back, and he pulls out the bullet instead. Then he just puts it back in and gets the Skittle.
Yeah, and
everyone
this was
all
when
doctors
all
come
the
in.
other doctors ran out for some reason. It was because like there was another guy or whatever.
And then they all come back in and they're like, "We're gonna lose him." And Mr. Bean's just, ha! And he like puts his hand in
Yeah,
and
it's
then
too
pulls out
dangerous, Mr. Bean.
Dr. Bean, he's not gonna make it. And then they pull it out and he's like, "Horror, horror." But
Yeah, he just shoves his hand in and takes out the bullet, which is really dangerous in real life. And then suddenly, just because he took the bullet out, the patient is fine, which is not how it happens. Like the not the sorry, like the objective isn't to take out the bullet. It's to like it is to take out the bullet, but it's the
Mr.
bullet
Bean put the bullet in
isn't the
there.
thing
Remember, he
doing
took it
harm.
out before.
Yeah, just taking out
Put
the
it back
bullet
in.
won't
So
cure him
Mr. Bean's fine.
instantly. Taking out the bullet
Anyway,
won't cure him instantly. Like it's like it's the wound that the bullet makes. Like you need to stitch it up or whatever, and like suddenly, and it's like the classic like beep, 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 and
yeah.
like his heart just like stops, and then Mr. Bean like shoves his hand in and goes like, then the heart starts going, and goes, yeah, Mr. Bean, Dr. Bean or whatever. And there's a running gag when everyone calls him Doctor because they think he's like a doctor in art, and then he just goes, no, it's Bean. He does this funny Mr. Bean voice.
Overall, I'd say 3
And
out
then,
of 5.
yeah, and then he like basically the daughter's in a coma or something, and then he just he just
Jumps.
yeah, he jumps in her.
The defibrillator like backfires and he like ends up like jumping on top of her and she's like, ah, and wakes
Yeah, she
up.
wakes up because he like electrocutes her. You know when they like put it together and they go clear.
Oh. And then at the end, yeah. So everything was good up until the bit where
Like
he.
some of the jokes were good. I guess like you can tell Rowan Atkinson just got paid a good amount of money, so he just kind of went and did the funny Mr. Bean voice, and he talked a lot more. He had a lot of lines than he did in the TV show, which
And Mr. Bean's holiday.
yeah, Mr. Bean's holiday. He doesn't talk as much, but he still talks quite a lot.
Well, I
And
mean,
then
half the time they're in France, so he can't speak French,
yeah.
so he just goes, oh, wait.
There's a lot just what are we? I want to go to Cannes. And then
Yeah.
what else does he do? He just and then like
He does
the
funny
character's
dancing.
really bland and like they could have got creative with it because it's Mr. Bean, you know. They just
Now
they
let's
just
talk-
wanted to make money, really. They just want to make money.
Should we talk about Mr. Bean's holiday now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Bean's holiday. The better one. I'm sorry, but it's better.
Yeah, let's just jump into Mr. Bean's holiday. Yeah, I prefer Mr. Bean's holiday. I mean,
I prefer Mr. Bean's holiday.
should we just talk about the best part of Mr. Bean's holiday, which is quite clearly William Dafoe, as pretty much just William Dafoe in real life. He was, but
When
like a
I watched
direct.
this film, William Dafoe's performance was so good.
Yeah.
He's plays this guy called Carson Clay. I didn't think that it was William Dafoe. I saw Carson Clay.
Yeah,
on
his
that
character's called Carson Clay, and to be honest, it's more just Carson Clay played by no, it's William Dafoe played by Carson Clay. I messed that joke up, so it's not funny anymore. But you get what I mean.
Shut up. I'm joking.
No,
I'm
you
joking.
shut up.
But
Yeah.
it's the same mentality that Robert Downey
it was
Jr.
just
was Iron Man. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oh, oops! I just spoiled Endgame. Lol. Oops. Anyway.
I mean, it's been 2 weeks, so you can support whatever. You know, it's been almost.
So the plot is he wins a raffle to go.
Yeah, he wins a raffle.
And he abducts this child because his dad was taking a video for him, and
No,
he
like,
basically
yeah.
wants to go to the beach.
Basically,
And then he finds a girl, and yeah, it's
all right. Basically, Mr. Bean wins a raffle, and so he has to take like the train to France, but he like accidentally makes this kid's dad like miss the train, so this kid is separated from the dad, and Mr. Bean has to like be like weird to the kid. He like abducts the kid and he does a lot of weird things, but the kid doesn't want to talk about it.
So
I mean,
I genuinely really like this movie. I think it's
I like
actually, I
it. Yeah.
think
We
it's
start with
funny. I think it's creative, and the soundtrack. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, I'm just gonna
soundtrack.
blast
Right,
out the soundtrack right now.
right. Just hit that banger, my G. Right, that's not what I was expecting. It's like it's got a nice acoustic to it, you know, and like it's whoa. Na-na-na-na-na. All right, cool. I think that's enough of the. Na-na-na-na-na. All right, cool.
It fits the tone perfectly.
It does, and like I really like the scenery of southern France, and they actually filmed it in southern France as well. And they like on the day of the festival, they went to Cannes and filmed it, and they're like, it was very funny. The
What were you
budget's
there? Or just funny?
they actually went to Cannes to film it.
No, but you said it like, yeah, it was very funny. Like you were there, like watching it
I mean, I was there, yeah, I was there in spirit anyway.
in
It had a
spirit.
budget, yeah, it had a budget of 25 million, which I guess
Which
that's a
is,
lot for a comedy. But like
I think that shows. I think it shows because it doesn't look like a TV show. It
yeah,
looks like a
it
proper
looks
movie.
like an actual film. Like it's well, yeah, like this, you know, like I said, the scenery's nice, and it made box office of 230 million, which is more than Mr. Bean 1997. But you know, he like it's. I think it was a lot better. Like there was more effort put in. I feel like Rowan Atkinson put more effort in as well this time for some reason. But he said it was going to be the last Mr. Bean like thing. Apart from like you know he does the comic relief now and then. But
Well, you
yeah, the
say that,
character thing.
but he did an interview with Graham Norton, and he said that Mr. Bean might return. It was when they were doing promotion for Johnny English Strikes Again.
Oh. Yeah, but
That was a funny movie. That was
he's.
funny.
I feel like he's too old to play Mr. Bean because Mr. Bean's more of like a
Well, if you'd go over to Mr. Bean's the YouTube channel, Mr. Bean, and he still does occurrences. He did one with the guy. Who's the guy who made? What's his name? Hang on. He has his YouTube channel, and he still pretends to be Mr. Bean. Stands in front of a green screen, and he goes, and you
how
know,
much do they pay us to do that? Jeez.
probably a lot to be honest. He has 13 million subscribers.
Oh my god.
Um,
How was I unaware of
Colin
this?
Firth, you know Colin Firth,
Oh,
the do you know the
I
guy
think I've probably heard of it.
who makes stuff? Yeah, yeah. Listen to the music. It's so generic and
Wow.
Mr. Bean,
Mr. Bean!
I've got this for you. Me?
Oh
What is it?
god.
It's a
Do the
document
Mr. Bean
play
voice.
button from YouTube. Yeah, for reaching 10 million subscribers. Congratulations. Well,
That sounds more of like a Mr. Bean impression than Mr. Bean himself.
that's Mr. Bean himself. If I can send you the video. It's Mr.
Okay.
Bean himself.
Oh my god.
To be honest, on the YouTube channel, all they post is Johnny English and original Mr. Bean stuff, and occasionally they post new videos with real Rowan Atkinson. Like this one was posted in May, and it was how to garden with Mr. Bean. So you know, he still does play Mr. Bean, but not like in movies, which I think I'd like a follow up to. Not Mr. Bean's Holiday 2, something else, because then it becomes a trilogy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, hang on, no, it's not Mr. Bean.
Are you ready?
It's the first shot is Mr. Bean going, "Are you ready?" And then it just cuts to someone's hand with the Mr. Bean suit on, so it's obviously not him.
All right, we're getting distracted, Felix. We've got to get on task.
Sorry.
All right, so let's talk about the plot. Yeah, we've already talked about the plot. What we're doing. Oh yeah, we got like halfway through the plot and then we got distracted. So like Mr. Bean is on his way to France and he sees this kid on his own and he touches the kid a lot, and then he doesn't actually.
No, Joe,
I'm
that's not.
joking.
Let me.
That's a different movie.
So yeah, that's a completely different movie. So there's a dad, and he has a son, and they're on the way somewhere. And he's in Cannes.
Didn't the dad like produce like a Cannes film, so the kid wants to go to
I think
Cannes?
so. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, they were going to Cannes. And then Mr. Bean was like,
Cannes film.
"Excuse me, sir, can you film me getting on the train?" So then he went on the train.
And Mr. Bean just wants to go to the beach. That's like the main part of the film. That's the plot, which is good because it has an actual plot. Unlike Mr. Bean original, he's just like, I want to go to the beach, which is good. It's like that's the ending of the film. That's what he wants to do as a journey.
Yeah. And then the kid, he has to go with the kids to look after the kid because no one else is looking after the kid. And then they get the phone number because he drives past he goes past the train and he leaves the phone number. So Mr. Bean records it with his, which is, they actually filmed the camcorder bit with an actual camcorder, not just like a proper cinema.
It's not like the visit. It's not like the visit where they get like a 40 grand like red camera.
Yeah.
Like he actually films it, and I like those sequences where it just cuts to him like recording on his own camcorder because it's pretty creative. I like it.
Joe, I have a question.
What?
If Rowan Atkinson wasn't so good in this movie, do you think the movie would be as good as it is?
No, because he does carry it a bit. Like I feel like he does. I feel like he adds to Mr. Bean more in this film.
Yeah.
He just kind of does his Mr. Bean impression in Bean the movie. But in Day, I think
he really develops the character.
He does.
It's just I genuinely think it's a really good movie, and I was thinking, am I just thinking that it's a good movie because it's nostalgic to me? But then
it's nostalgic to me as well, which I feel like it is. I feel like we like the movie more than other people. Like IHE gave it a 1 star because he's really negative all the time. Can't just be positive for once. But it's nostalgic to me. That's why I like it a lot.
It's nostalgic. I also
which
think
is dumb,
that
but
the movie is also nostalgic to me because I used to watch it like on weekends on CITV, and that was like my childhood. But then and I watch it again and I'm thinking this isn't very good at all. Well, it was okay.
When I watched Bean the movie, it was not as good the second time I watched it because I watched it twice over like a couple of weeks. Because I got used to the jokes. I knew all the jokes. Like a good film, or a good comedy even it makes me laugh every time I watch it.
Super bad.
Yeah. Or
Mr. Bean's Holiday. You know the jokes are coming, but I still find them funny.
Yeah.
Every time.
And basically, right, the plot, Felix. We get even getting sidetracked. So basically, Rowan Atkinson takes the boy to. He doesn't take him straight to Cannes. He takes him to like.
Well, they can't get to Cannes.
He tries to contact the dad. But he keeps him so. He doesn't know the full number. He knows the phone number, but the last letter of the last number of the phone number. So he just tries to figure out every possible phone number, but he just can't find it out. And then he gets caught by the police. So he tries to make money by busking, or he does it's a funny bit where he dresses up as a nun. He dresses up as a nun and starts dancing. That's a bit good.
And Mr. Bombastic.
So he can make enough money to get a bus to Cannes to the beach. I want to go to the beach.
And he only says, I think we should summarize the plot because then we can get on to talking about the ending and the soundtrack again.
Yeah. So then he goes. He takes it and he forgets his or something, or he forgets the bus ticket, but the kid is on the bus, so he's separated from the kid, and then he ends up on a film. Then tries to hitchhike, and he steals a guy's thing, and he gets run over. He tries to get this chicken. He takes a bike and he goes past those female cyclists, and then he gets hit, and then he wakes up and he's just on a film set. He's on William Dafoe's film set. and William Dafoe's there, and he dresses up as a Nazi. And he starts doing the
They're
Nazi
not
salute.
Nazis, Joe.
They're
I
just
think they're
German
just soldiers.
soldiers. Sorry.
They're just German
Yeah.
soldiers, Joe.
And then he
But
meets
it's
this
set in the
girl
1940s
who has a
or
very
whatever.
nice personality, and she like drives him there.
Sabine, and then Mr. Bean goes,
This is-
Bean Sabine, because
And then she only speaks French. He only speaks English. So he just keeps on saying to her, "Cans, cans."
away to the beach. And then they get into
Really?
Cannes eventually, and then they all reunite, and then the ending happens. Because I really want to
The
talk about the
ending
ending.
Yeah, the ending is
The
really good,
ending.
actually.
So it's he walks from Cannes through a road, through like on top of cars and stuff.
That's
That
a
bit-
good
that bit-
sequence.
I think that's
as well.
clever.
I like.
That's-
There's a couple sequences like that. And I really like that. It's pretty creative and well like made. 'Cause it's all one shot. And it's very nice.
Yeah. And then he goes into, and then it's some like footage of him with the camcorder, like showing him going on the beach, and then the girl is on the beach, and
And they
everyone's
start singing
enjoying
that opera
they
song,
all
don't
sing.
they?
that opera song, which always and it made me smile. It honestly made me smile.
Yeah.
I need to get.
And like before the ending, that the kid wants to reunite with the dad, and William Dafoe's doing this really dumb artistic film where he's like moving. And the whole reason why the girl wants to take them to Cannes is because she's driving there to because she thinks she's in this film. Then William Dafoe just cuts her out last minute, and it's very sad. And she goes, it makes her feel so good. And then like Mr. Bean like gets into the where the projector is, and he just puts, because he's been like recording everything on his camcorder, he just plugs it into the projector or something, and he just starts playing footage of the kid because he knows the dad's in the theater for some reason, and then he just starts playing footage of the kid, and the dad's like, "That's my son." And then there's also bits of like, but you can still hear the audio of William Dafoe talking about like the girl in the movie, and then the girl that Mr. Bean likes, or like the girl that meets up with Mr. Bean, whatever it's called, and she's very happy because she gets to be in the film, but it's just like pictures of Mr. Bean. I'm explaining this terribly, but you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
So this is, Joe. Can you
And then
put the ending?
And then everyone just thinks it's like some dumb artistic film that William Dafoe made because it's his voiceover over like some pictures of Mr. Bean. And then everyone claps at the end, and William Dafoe takes all the credit, and Mr. Bean's happy because he gets to he doesn't get arrested for touching the kid. Oh, but that all happens off camera. Yeah, and then he writes the end in the sand with his foot with his camcorder, and it's a very good ending. That's the end credit scene, actually, isn't it? Or something like that.
That's the performed by who's it? I'm trying to find the ending scene. Here we go. The song. I'm just gonna play the song because it's a good song. Oh, YouTube Premium adverts every time.
I was like so prepared to hear it, and I just hear like some rap song where it's like, "Whoa, no, you know." Oh hell yeah, give me some of that jams. Hey, yeah. Oh. And they're like, oh, that's so hard.
I'll just skip to the ending.
And they're like,
oh, just every time that gets me. That makes me so happy. And the last shot is like a crane shot, and you see a whole crowd of people, and they're all mouthing to the song. And I find it funny because you can see
they
like
were lip syncing it. Yeah, they were lip syncing it because they predicted TikTok 10 years before it came out.
Yeah, and then you can see some child extras in the background, not knowing what's going on, and I find that so funny. They're just so lost. Anyway,
cute. It was a cute ending. It felt more wholesome and like, creative than Mr. Bean. Then Mr. Bean, because it might be 1997 felt just like they wanted to make some money. They wanted to bring Mr. Bean to America, so they just did that. they made some dumb jokes, and Mr. Bean did the Mr. Bean laugh. I mean, no, not the Mr. Bean laugh. He did the Mr. Bean voice, and he walked it around a bit. Well, I feel like he expressed Ron actually expressed himself more, and I loved how William Dafoe was in it, and he said it was because he liked Blackadder so much, and the kid was
which
pretty
and
good as
Blackadder is
well.
very funny. I like
The
the
kid
kid actor.
from
He hasn't been in anything else apart from. Well, I swear he wasn't actually French. I swear he was
he
like
wasn't
Russian.
French. He's English. No, he's English.
Yeah,
He
he's
did a
English.
good French accent. I rate that.
What else has he done?
They all spoke French. Are they? The only time they spoke English was the scenes right at the start in England when they did the draw, and it was the guy from Inside Number 9 doing the draw, which is very nice. Was he involved in the film creatively, or was he just there for a funny little cameo?
I think.
So he
I
writes
think
a lot
he
of
was
stuff.
just here because he's British, so why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think it's just for
So
the mums
actually-
and the audience to go, oh, it's the guy! I know that guy. Wow.
Funny thing is, the boy from Mr. Bean's Holiday, he hasn't done anything really apart
He's
from
23
some weird
now,
animation
isn't
stuff. Recently, he's been in the TV show called Years and Years, written by Richard Curtis. No, sorry, not Richard Curtis. Who am I thinking of? The guy who wrote Doctor Who a couple of years ago. What's his name?
Oh, jeez. I bet I know what you're talking about.
Doctor. Right. Russell T Davies.
Oh, yeah.
He's in that. So yeah, that's good. I feel good for him. Should we end the podcast? Should we end up with an overall of both films?
Yeah. Okay. Overall, Mr. Bean's Holiday is better. They're both the same runtime, but I feel like it's still like kind of it's still pretty retro as like a film. It's not like black and white retro, but it's still got that like early 2000s vibes, if you get what I mean. It's like it's wholesome. Mr. Bean's Holiday. Mr. Bean's Holiday. It just feels it feels cold, Mr. Bean. That's the best. That's
It feels. It's just so 90s. It's just everything with the 90s. The generic.
It is very 90s. Yeah. It's very like safe. They didn't. At least with Mr. Bean's Holiday, they took a couple risks creatively. But like Mr. Bean, they kept it safe just for. Apart from like the very inappropriate jokes for a kids' film in Mr. Bean.
But it was 1997.
And even in Mr. Bean's Holiday, that my favourite joke was when Mr. Bean was dialing loads of different numbers to find the dad, because he tried to find out all the possible numbers, and then one of the numbers that there was this French guy on a bridge, and it was like, Charlotte, tell me you love me or it's over.
And then Mr. Bean hangs up and then he just jumps off.
And he jumps off a bridge, and that's a weird. That's very weird. Creative. That's a very weird choice by the directors. Steve Bendelak. Yeah, you can have your opinion if you want.
Overall, Mr. Bean's The Ultimate Disaster Movie, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's nothing compared to Mr. Bean's Holiday. It's such a I can't stress enough how good Mr. Bean's Holiday is. It's minuscule. I honestly, I'm not even like
I want it to
joking.
do that.
I would give Mr. Bean 4 out of 5. Then to Mr. Bean's Holiday, 4 out of 5. Not 5 out of 5.
I gave it 3.5.
I 4 out of 5 just because of the ending. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased because I used to watch it when I was a child. I don't know.
3.5 for me, and Bean 1 star or one. Yeah, 1 star out of 5.
Wow.
But it's just I don't like it. Well, I would have given it more if I didn't
really
watch
like
it again, because
it
was a lot worse the second time I watched it.
Yeah. Okay. That's the end of the podcast then, I guess.
That's it for me and Felix. First episode of Fishing with the Boys.
Fishing with the Boys
Go
podcast
follow us on Letterboxd. On Letterboxd. What
follow me
my
on
name?
MySpace, Napster.
I'm MySpace. I'm Joe Flynn. Just Joe Flynn. I'm Joe Flynn on Letterboxd. Yeah, leave it in the description. Whatever. Just follow me and Felix and Letterboxd.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's been nice. That was pretty epic, Joe.
yeah. I'm DB Sucks. All right, we'll see you in the next podcast.
I'm Ralph the Movie Maker. He was I Hate Everything. You know.
Yeah. All right.
Pretty epic.
You're YMS because you have long hair.
Yeah, but isn't he a gay furry?
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. People can have their own opinions. All right, I'll see you in the next podcast. Why not? I'll see you, Felix, as well. You've been a good sport today.
Okay.
I'll see you. Yeah,
Same.
and maybe we'll have a guest star. We probably will.
Maybe. Probably.
All right.
Anyway.
Good night.
Goodbye.